Okay.
All right.
Everything
Is content.
All right. We are officially recording. So, what up? Welcome back. This is Hunter, and
This is Brian.
this is Technically Disoriented.
Round two.
Round two. Yeah. Part two. So, let's start off strong here today, Brian.
Listen, I feel like we need to have just 5 minutes of discussion about how we forgot to start our timer to tell us how long we've been going.
Oh, yeah.
And I also think that we should discuss the amount of time it's taken us to figure out how to get audio working and a clear picture on a camera.
You say that as though we've got a clear picture or functional audio. Spoken like a man without functional audio or a clear picture.
I don't even know anymore.
True. Yeah.
I can say that this is a situation.
So
I think that people do not realize how challenging it is to get an audio, video, YouTube video recorded.
I think you're right, but
I bet you we have 47,000 comments about how stupid we are and how we've made it way too complicated.
I guarantee that's the case, because if we had just done like a mic and an iPhone, it would probably look just as good as this and probably sound just as good as
Do you really think so, though?
Should our next... hey, everyone, like comments, and subscribe. Everyone, comment down below if we should just do a video just on an iPhone.
So we're going to just iPhone it with a shotgun mic.
Yeah.
And on the next one, that's how that we're going to go.
Yeah, and we'll see how that goes.
Okay.
Or we'll record like a mini clip. In fact, screw the shotgun mic. I'll just record it on my iPhone, and we'll make a one just called...
It's like our TikTok video.
Yeah, recorded on iPhone.
Oh, can we say that on YouTube? I don't even know anymore.
TikTok? Yeah, I'll say TikTok all I want.
You can say TikTok?
Yeah, why not?
I didn't know you could mention other social media programs.
So, dang. Okay, so when I lean
These
forward...
microphones are very heavy. We definitely need the goosenecks, maybe some pop filters.
Yeah, I feel weird like holding it like this, but it's, I mean...
Listen, it sounds better, okay?
It does.
I think the quality of this video versus our first video is going to be...
way better. Well,
way better.
Maybe not the quality of content. We're already off to a very strong start. 2.5 minutes in. So...
All right, moving to the topic. What are we discussing?
So let's start off with a TD. All right, TD means technically disoriented. All right, that's I haven't made up a slang or anything here, or a slur. That's the word I'm looking for.
It's about to get to be there.
Yeah, TD is about to become a slur. That's definitely not kosher. Okay, so let's launch into a tech story already.
Okay.
First, just like straight right into it. So Brian, tell me about your feelings about printers.
Oh, that's a tough question. See, this is another one of those topics that I don't know that you and I are actually going to hotly debate it, because we have the same opinion. Printers are the worst possible invention ever in the history of things. I think maybe the old style dot matrix printers that just ran across the thing and did the ribbon printing were probably
Peak printing
functionality, and everything else that we've tried to pack into a printer is a giant waste of R&D money and everything else.
I couldn't agree more. In fact, I think that copiers was as far as printers should ever have gone.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, if you want to copy something that you wrote down on a piece of paper, it should never have been connected to a computer in any way.
I agree 100%.
Okay.
I think the functionality of printers, like the multifunction printer, like those things have caused me personally in my career more headache, pain, heartache, depression, and PTSD than any other device on the planet.
Even more than networking devices. That's crazy, considering that you're a network engineer.
You'd think that.
You would think that.
Yeah, like for real. Like anything, like the minute you connect it to a printer, a myriad of windows opens up. End user problems, device issues, the thing's out of toner, the thing's out of paper. Nobody can figure out how to make it work. Nobody can stay connected to it. everything is terrible about printers in the modern day.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. I actually have two printer stories here. So I used to work, as you may know. Should I use a legally safe name? Yeah, I used to work at a popular retailer with blue and yellow coloring, whose name rhymes with breast guy. And
Indeed.
indeed. Are we keeping that cut? Anyways, so I used to work at said large electronics retailer, and I was in the mobile
I feel
department.
like you're out of frame.
Am I out of frame? I feel like when I lean back, the camera. Sorry. Chair? Okay, fine.
Now you do your lean.
Dang it.
Okay.
Okay, so, anyways, working at said large online retail in-store. Inbox?
The big box store.
Yeah, big box in-store retailer.
Okay.
I was in the mobile department, so I was technically supposed to stay in the phones, but I didn't like phones because said retailer has kind of crappy software for setting up phones. I think I'm allowed to say that.
I don't think anyone's gonna see it.
Yeah. Dang. It's awfully pessimistic of you. You don't think anybody at said retailer
Listen,
will...
we're gonna take a short break here. I think maybe after the 15th video, people are gonna start watching. So I'm not sure if they're gonna come back and watch this.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Anyways, this is more or less just for us.
Yeah,
but-
it's 100%. This is just therapy.
yeah, true.
It's just therapy.
Anyways, so...
Back to breast.
yeah,
Okay.
breast guy, yes. So I worked in the mobile department, which means that I was just supposed to stay in the phone place, but I didn't like doing that because phones kind of sucked. They just weren't as fun. And so I'd wander into every other department. Someone would come and look at a laptop, and I'd go help them with laptops. I didn't know crap about cars, and I knew even less about car audio. But I would go over to the car audio section and talk about speakers that I didn't, and stereos and deck units, like for 30 minutes. But anytime someone walked in and was like, "I want to go see a printer," I would immediately just point them at the printer aisle and then walk back to the phone department because it's just a whole can of worms that I was just not willing to put myself into. There's just no way that I'm doing it. So
You're like, go talk to James. He's just that guy.
yeah, and the funny part is that the particular store that I worked at, the manager was very strict about us talking to someone. There could be one person in the store, and it was 15 minutes before closing time on Sunday, and if all of us had already gone and talked to him, all 5 of us in the store had gone and talked to the person, the manager would be like, "Why aren't you guys talking to them? Why aren't you guys talking to them?" We would stop and chat for 1 second, and the manager would come over and be like, "You've got to go talk to this person." And we're like, "We've all been over 5 times. We've pissed this person off with how much we've been over there." So anyways, but even still, I would not go to the printer aisle ever under any circumstances. So
I agree. I think printers are a huge waste of time and effort. I
Yeah.
think people that still insist on printing things, first of all, I get all the legal regulation things that need to change before digital copies of things. You don't need to blast me about that. I get it. But a basic printer, USB to the machine, way easier than any kind of other device on the planet. Easier to maintain, easier to manage. Just plug it in directly and be done with it.
yeah, agreed. Funny you should say that, Brian. That leads me directly into my next point here, or my next story.
About printers?
Yeah, about printers.
Okay.
So,
because I have another story about printers too.
okay, well then you tell yours, and then because I've already just talked for a bit.
I get phone calls from people that I know that have challenges. And
This is outside of work.
it's outside of work.
This is extracurricular.
It's just extracurricular
Yeah,
tech support
printing.
business. First of all, I don't know. I can't fix. I can make educated guesses on Windows problems or Mac issues or whatever, but I really can't fix most problems. I can Google it and research, and I have enough context that I can probably figure out and make it work. But I got a call from somebody one time that they could not get their printer to work, and it was one of those situations where they were signing some sort of legal paperwork, and they absolutely had to have this stuff printed off, and then they had to go find a fax machine. Like it was that kind of like scenario. And I spend 10 or 15 minutes with them trying to like help them get the print going. And this was old enough to where I didn't have any remote software, so I could see what was going on. I wasn't very far away from this person, so I just hopped in the car and drove over there. And I started looking around, start troubleshooting the situation. And instead of plugging the USB cable into the USB port on the back of the printer, it was plugged into the Ethernet port on the back of the printer.
They messed up when they made the
so
printer plug-in square.
They messed up. Like they really screwed up when they made the connection for the printer look exactly like 3 other connectors.
Yeah, that was a blunder.
Like for anybody who doesn't deal with that on a regular basis, it's the same thing as if I deal with a Windows problem right now. I don't do it on a regular basis, so I just don't know.
Yeah, that was a blunder. That was definitely a blunder on their part. I mean, people already struggle with square plug-in, square hole, but now you've got 2 square plug.
Right, now you got 2 square plugs that are next to right on underneath on top of each other.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Like how.
I mean, and the best part is that even modern printers, like, okay, so here's my other thing about printers. Well, I've got 2. I've got way more than 2 things about printers. Let's be brutally honest here. I've got way more than 2 things about printers. But that was USB. Correct me if I'm wrong, anyone in the comments section. But the printer plug-in, like the standard square one that you think of when you think of the thing on the back of a printer, is USB-B 2.0, I believe.
Yes.
And then the one that they updated somewhat recently is USB-B 3.0, and that's kind of like a square with another little rectangle sticking off of it. Like it almost looks like the shape of a tooth if you were to try and draw a tooth shape, like if you yanked it out of your head, right? Yep. And they still haven't updated that. Like modern printers still come with USB-B 2.0 and not USB-B 3.0 to prevent you from jamming USB-B 2.0 into the Ethernet port instead. Like very simple solution. But they're just like, no, like they could do USB-C at this point. They could straight up do USB-C.
Yeah.
There's nothing stopping them from doing USB-B 3.0, USB-C. And modern printers still come with the 15-year-old square plug, square hole.
Yeah, and the best part about it is generally they don't come with the cable.
Yeah.
Like if you don't buy a cable separately, you're not plugging the thing into anything.
Yeah, because they want you to put it on your Wi-Fi so that they can freaking monitor all of your traffic and suck up.
So you can hook it to their paper service.
They
ship you paper for
they want you
twice as much.
They want to get on your Wi-Fi first off, so that they can monitor your network, and they want you to sign up for some sort of service. In fact, I saw. Oh man, I need to find this tweet, but it was I can't remember who tweeted it originally.
Is it still called Twitter? I think it's X now.
Oh dang it! I saw an X. I saw an X. I don't know who X'd it originally, but they X'd that. I'm just gonna keep saying tweet. That sounds so dumb. I don't.
Thanks, Elon Musk.
Yeah, I don't even have.
Joyous occasion.
I don't even have Twitter. I see all of this from Reddit or other places. But anyways, someone said something like they had a tech problem, like they had a printer problem where they troubleshooted or troubleshot, whatever you want to say, the printer for hours and hours, and they tried every different thing, plugs and cables and wireless and all the kind of thing. And eventually they called up the support for their printer, and their credit card had expired. The credit card on file had expired, and so they manually, like, whatever the printer company was, manually disabled their printer. Like,
yeah, because they couldn't charge them for the
yeah, because they couldn't charge them.
Yeah.
And the person ended their tweet with, "So in other unrelated news, I'm now radicalized," or something like that. Everything about printers is like, I don't know, feels terrible.
So we'll trade off on this.
Go for it.
Here's my other rant. My other rant is people that buy the basic printer. Like you go to the store, you buy the printer.
Yeah,
it's
$70 one.
It's like
on
$70,
sale
$80. It prints 1,000 sheets of paper, and then it runs out of ink. And the ink is more expensive than just going buy a new printer.
Yeah.
Like I have family members that just collect printer carcasses because it's less expensive to just go buy a new printer on some sale somewhere than to replace the cartridges.
Yeah, then to replace.
So we are generating consumable products,
E-waste,
and it's not just the little cartridge that's the consumable product.
Yeah.
It's the whole stupid printer that's the consumable.
Yeah, like imagine if you bought a new iPhone and then on day 2 when it runs out of battery for the first time, it's cheaper to just buy a new iPhone than to charge the battery, or whatever. Yeah,
that's totally it.
Yeah. I mean, first off, if you're buying, dang, are we into a hot take already?
Probably.
We're into a hot take already. I am going to say something that I'm sorry about because I realize that I'm a tech person and I realize that I'm fortunate enough to work in IT. So like, there's salaries are okay in IT. I'm not like working at Taco Bell or something like that. But if you're buying really cheap technology, I would just recommend not doing that. If you're like, oh, I need a printer for school. No, you don't. No, you don't. Your school has printers. Don't spend the $100 on the crappy printer. Make the effort to walk across campus and go and print the thing at the printer lab. I guarantee that it will be worth your time and the extra calories that you'll burn to walk across campus. Well, I need to print a thing early in the morning before class. No, you don't. No, you don't. You need to do your assignment the night before and then go print it the night before. Why are you doing your assignment at 8 a.m. the day of? That's not the printer's problem. That's your problem. Don't spend $100 on an e-waste printer ever. In fact, don't buy a printer, period. But especially don't buy a cheap one. And I honestly feel like that extends to a lot of tech things, right?
Yeah, I totally agree.
In Spanish and Portuguese, I think I've told you this before. I kind of speak Spanish and I speak Portuguese okay. That's just random fun facts about Hunter. I need to cut in like a little reading rainbow, the more you know, right here. Reading rainbow. But
that was pretty good.
Thanks.
We should sing our way out.
I hope it sounded good in the audio. But in Spanish and Portuguese, there is a saying. In Portuguese, it goes, "O barato sai caro," which means the cheap will end up being expensive. Like a cheap thing will end up being expensive.
That's 100% true.
And it's almost the same in Spanish. And it's 100% true. Like if you're like, oh, I need a camera for this one thing, and I see this cheap point and shoot camera on sale on Amazon for $50, do not buy that cheap point and shoot camera. Like there's a chance that it may be okay and that it'll do okay, but you are better off borrowing your friend's camera and using that. You're better off saving a little bit and like getting a nicer one and then selling it and just like selling it used for almost as much as you bought it for right after you're done with it and just pretending that it's new and in box. Yeah, like you're better off doing like any of those things than buying a cheap thing. There are some notable exceptions. You don't need to buy the Apple brand charging cable every single time. Like a cheap charger will work. Like it'll get the job done, honestly. But like in general, if you're nickel and diming your tech in your life, please, for the sake of all of the tech people in your life around you, stop. Please stop.
Is this like a PSA?
Yeah, this is a PSA. Like
we're PSAing.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know.
Yeah. No, serious. Like, and that's an art. This is an art, by the way. Like knowing what tech you can like get the cheap version of, and what tech you should not ever buy the cheap version of. And printers are 100% one of those things that you should not buy the cheap version.
See, but I'm in the camp of I don't think you should buy a printer at all.
I know. I agree.
For the 3 times that you print something a year, just use your neighbors.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Go to the local library. The librarian is lonely.
Remember to do it when you're at your parents' house.
Yeah. Yeah, your parents are lonely. The local librarian is lonely. Go and say hello to people.
Yeah.
Touch grass. Yeah. Don't buy.
Go to the library and touch the books, and then print your paper there, and then come home.
You may leave 1 IQ point higher than you went in.
I say that, and I have 3 printers in my house.
He's part of the problem. No. Okay, so I'm gonna lead into my printer.
I got one of them for free.
One of the printers for free?
Yeah.
So that means that you're only 2 times an idiot?
Well, one of them was for a specific purpose. One of them was for free, and then the other one was just a deal. So
okay.
It's a standard cheap printer deal
process.
Don't judge me, Hunter. I see those looks.
This is one of those weird.
P.S. I have just as many problems with the printers in my house that I do with all the printers at work. Even the $7,000 big, huge, massive, it'll print a book for you and staple it.
Yeah.
It's exactly the same amount of problems.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Totally. 100%. No, I agree. And I think that is the daily reminder that whenever we talk about somebody doing something stupid and being technically disoriented, we're actually just talking about ourselves being technically disoriented. Because we just, like, spent some time ranting. Hold on.
I don't know how much time we've been going.
Oh, 20 minutes. Okay.
Oh,
we just spent
20 minutes.
Yeah, we just spent 20 minutes ranting about printers and then just
I got
ended.
20 more minutes if anybody wants to keep going.
Well, I've got at least one story.
All right.
So
hit us
can I-
with your story.
Okay, so here's my story. So again, previous place of employment. So we never outing anybody that we're currently working with. I had a guy who came to me, like he came to the IT area, and he was like, "Hey, so I need to print something. Can you hook me up to the printer?" And I said, "Sure, yeah, I can hook up the printer." All right, so I
This is
connect
like a fellow, like a coworker.
coworker,
Okay.
yeah, not an IT person.
Gotcha.
Coworker. Say, I just need to print something. Can you connect me to the printer? And so I'm like, okay, fine. I connect him to the printer, go to the print server, hit connect, so on and so forth, whatever. He comes back up about 15 minutes later and says, "Hey, it's not working. Like, there's nothing coming out of the printer." And I say, that's weird. So I go over to where he's sitting, and I take a look, and on his computer is an error message that says something. I don't remember what the error message said. But here's technically disoriented number one. Missed the error message when he went to hit print. Okay, so we're already off to a good start. So it didn't print. Okay, I think it was going to the wrong printer or something like that. So then I say, "Well, what are you printing?" And he's like, "Well, it's just something that I need to physically sign." You know, and on the, by the way,
That's always what it is.
always what it is.
We got to physically sign.
Yeah. And by the way, all on the way over to his area, I was like talking to him, and I was like, man, I don't like printers. I was kind of telling him my legendary hate for printers. I said, man, I hate printers so bad. You know, if I had 3 wishes, I would wish that printers never existed. Or if I had 1 wish, I would wish that printers never existed. I could cure cancer. I could end world hunger, and I would wish that printers had never been invented, basically.
I feel like, just a side note there, I think if we had just spent all the R&D money that went into coming up with printers on something more productive, like, you could have cured cancer.
Yeah. Well, that's a whole other conspiracy theory in itself. Right? But
We're not a conspiracy theory channel,
no,
are we?
no, I don't think so.
Not yet.
No, that depends on how much longer we have to spend dealing with printers in our lives. Like,
Okay.
the insanity may set in. Anyway, so I'm on the way over to the printer. I'm telling him, okay, so I hate printers so bad. I would end printers' existence if I had the power to do so. And he's like, yeah, you know, but sometimes you just need them. Yeah, so it's just necessary. And I'm like, oh yeah, it's sometimes. And so we get over there. I see the error message on his screen, right? And I'm like, okay, so step 1, we're already in technically disoriented territory.
We're already in the territory.
Now number 2, well, what are you printing? Oh, well, it's something that I just have to sign physically. You know, you just have to do that sometimes. And I'm like, sure you do. So I open up the thing. I'm like, do you want to show me the doc? Let's see, what is this? And I scroll down to the bottom, and lo and behold, there is an e-signature field. And I'm not just talking about the, like, he has it pulled up in Adobe Acrobat, and you can just drag and drop.
Yeah.
You can see the field highlighted that you can just click on and say e-sign,
Right.
right? So that's the thing, okay?
So he could have just e-signed it. And
Well, it gets better, because I said, well, so did you know about this little e-sign field? And he said, oh, yeah, but I just have to do it in person. And I happen to know what this particular form is, and I know for a fact that you can just e-sign it and email it back over to the person.
Yeah.
This is not illegally, like, binding document. It's just like a
It's like a don't swear in the break room.
yeah. Like, this is not a going to the federal government. They need to put it in a filing cabinet thing. It's like the HR person or something at work wanted him to.
And if you took them paper, they'd scan it and put it in your file.
Exactly.
On the file
Yes.
server.
And so I'm like, do you really need to? And he was like, well, but I don't have an e-signature. And you click on the e-signature field. It brings up a thing, and it says, add an e-signature. And he said, oh, well, but I can't do that, right? And I click on it, and it makes him an e-signature. And he's like, oh, well, oh. And then he had the gall to ask me to hook up the printer so that he could print the thing that he had just e-signed so that he could take it to them. And I was like, you are so married to printers. Like, get a divorce.
Yeah.
Take the ring off.
Yeah.
Leave the printer.
100%.
There are better options out there. You made the mistake to start off with, but it's not too late to turn back now. Man.
No, you're 100% right. It's not too late.
Yeah. So, I hate printers.